guys, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and today I'm doing another Q&A video. So I posted on social media asking for questions for this video, and I'm just gonna get right into them. Question number 1, is it enough to eat properly to be vegan, or do you also have to forgo leather, wool, silk, etc.? So my answer to this question when people ask, is it enough to just do the diet or do you need to also do the lifestyle factors, would be to say, if you're just doing the diet, I would call it a plant-based diet or a vegan diet that you're following. I wouldn't call someone a vegan if they're continuing to purchase honey, wool, silk, and leather products that are causing animal suffering, pain, and death. As we all know, veganism is about compassion for all living things, and so continuing to purchase products like leather and silk don't fit within that definition. But if you're eating an entirely vegan diet, then you can definitely say that you eat a vegan diet or that you are plant-based. Both of those are good definitions for what you're doing, and you're 100% on an amazing path towards making a huge difference. So good for you, everyone out there who is eating a vegan diet, even if you haven't transitioned to the lifestyle parts of it yet. You're amazing and you're doing so much good for the world. And if you check out the description, I'll have some links to blog posts I've written about the reasons why vegans don't purchase silk, leather, and sort of my thoughts on that a little bit more in depth, so check it out if you're interested. Question 2, I've been asked for my response to that video that is if meat eaters talked like vegans, which I saw on my Facebook feed, because who didn't? And I mean, whatever, you know, it kind of, yeah, it made me kind of irritated watching it, to be honest. The worst part of it was just watching them hold pieces of dead animals' muscles and blood just hanging from their hands. It was really, really disgusting. And I mean, you know, meat eaters can feel however they want to feel, just like vegans and everybody else, you know. People may feel like vegans tend to be preachy or holier than thou, know-it-alls, whatever, you know. I've heard it all. And yeah, maybe some are, maybe a lot of us are, and I think you would be too if you felt so passionately about something that really is shown by all the science to be healthier, to be better for the environment, and obviously to be better for the animals. So, I mean, my response to the video is, yeah, sure, it sounds weird, but honestly, it sounds weird when meat eaters say those things because they're just blatantly not true, whereas when vegans say them, kind of is. So, you know, be upset if you want, but eventually, I'm sure, even the guy who made that video will realize that being vegan just makes way more sense, and I'll go vegan. I think the best thing to do is just ignore it, because it's really not worth your time. Okay, question number 3 is, what is your workout routine? So my workout routine has changed a lot over the years. I can definitely do a more in-depth sort of history of my workout routine and what it currently is video. It's a great title. So let me know in the comments if you want to know more about my workout routine. Currently, I am doing the Way of Gray Love Yourself program. Sophie Gray is pretty amazing. She promotes a plant-based diet, and I mentioned this in my last Q&A video. I used to do the BBG program, and now I'm doing Way of Gray. I got about a month and a half into the program last time when I sustained a back injury, which is now fully healed up, yay. So I started again. Actually today I did workout 1, so here I go starting again. I'm hoping to stay really consistent with it up to my wedding so I can be in amazing shape for my wedding day and for the honeymoon and all that good stuff. So I'm doing Way of Gray Love Yourself program. Okay. Question number 4 is, what do you eat before and after your morning workout? So it depends. I do normally work out in the morning, that's true. I try to do it first thing, but that doesn't always happen depending on my schedule. So if I'm doing it first thing, I'll usually have like a banana or 2 before my workout to make sure that I have enough energy to get through it, and because I'm usually pretty hungry when I wake up. And then after my workout, I'll have a full breakfast, which usually would be oatmeal with fruit, or a big smoothie bowl like the one I recently posted on my Instagram. Sometimes I'll have some toast, or from time to time my fiance Jason will make us a tofu scramble. So it varies a lot from day to day, but definitely beforehand I pretty much only will eat some fruit before I work out, getting a lot of energy without weighing myself down. I do find if I work out later in the day and I've had other foods, I just kind of feel heavier and less energetic, so I usually go with fruit beforehand and then a full breakfast after of whatever plant-based awesome vegan food that I feel like eating. Okay, question number 5 is, what are your thoughts on service dogs and police dogs? So obviously, as you guys know, I don't agree with zoos. I don't think that zoos are ethical. I can link to my blog post below about that. I also have one about SeaWorld. So obviously I don't support zoos. I don't think they are right. I don't think people should pay and go to watch animals chained up and caged. But dogs used for therapy purposes or service dogs like a seeing eye dog, and then police dogs, that's sort of a different category. Now, I haven't talked a lot about how I feel about pets or companion animals. I prefer to call them companion animals, and I am for them just so long as you are adopting animals who are in need of a home and care rather than supporting a system that really mistreats animals, so puppy mills and pet stores and breeders. So I have 2 kittens and we adopted them. I obviously agree with adoption and companion animals, and I kind of extend that same belief towards service animals. So if someone is blind and they are hoping to live a fuller life or be able to do more things on their own, feel more independent, I think it's wonderful if they can have a companion animal who can also help them in that way. Same thing for people who experience seizures or whatever reason they might have a service dog. I think that's amazing. I do understand people say that the training starts very early, and obviously the animal has no choice in whether or not they will be trained and this will be their life. But I do believe that if there's a true connection between the human and their companion animal, that the animal wants to help them as much as you want to help the animal. And I think it's very clear when an animal is in love with a human and wants to care for it and do their best to help that human, in the same way that you can really see when a human has a wonderful connection with an animal and wants to care for it and loves it. So it's a bit of a complicated issue, but I do believe that service animals are a good idea. I think right now we don't have a lot of other options, and I sort of see them as an extension of companion animals. So as long as you're adopting the animals that are becoming service animals, I think it's a great idea. As far as police animals and military animals, I'm less a fan of that in general. Obviously, as a vegan, I promote nonviolence, and animals do get hurt in the line of duty. Now, there's the other side of the coin, dogs that can sniff out missing people, save them from dangerous situations in a way that humans can't necessarily do. Now, I'm not super up to date on all of the technology. Perhaps there is technology now that can find humans just as easily as a dog might, and if that is the case, I think the technology should be used over the individuals who don't have a choice in being put in danger. And any animal that's being put in the line of fire, I don't agree with. I don't think it's the right thing to do. They don't have a choice to be there, and you're putting their life at risk. So I would say, as long as the technology is able to overcome that, fill in that gap, which I think is probably pretty likely considering all the crazy things that we can do in 2016, I think that moving away from having police and military animals in service would be an incredible thing for animal rights in general. Okay, next question. How do you keep and organize recipes? So I have a couple recipe books, maybe 5 or 6, that are in my kitchen. As far as other recipes, I pretty much just use Pinterest. So if I see a really awesome recipe on Instagram, I will go to that person's blog, pin the recipe to one of my boards, and then it's there. Next time I want something, I want to make something, I can go to my board. So that's pretty much the only way I organize recipes. I used to have a little recipe box where I wrote them out, but I honestly never went in it. I would just Google how to make something. So now pretty much Pinterest is my go-to place for recipes. And if you want to follow me on Pinterest, I'm Plant-Based Bride on there. I'll leave a link below. Go follow me there. And if you come back here and leave me a link to your Pinterest in the comments, I'll totally follow you because I love finding other vegan, plant-based people to follow on Pinterest. Cool, okay, number 7, favorite vegan handbag brands. So I'm not a crazy handbag person. I was at one time, but now I'm trying to live a more minimalist life, as you guys know. So I'm trying to reduce my belongings, purchase less things, all of that good stuff. But I definitely have an obsession for Matt and Nat. I have a Matt and Nat bag, which I'm going to show you, which I am in love with. And if you click in the description below, I've left a link to my blog post where I showed you guys my wallet and purse. So this is the bag. It's gorgeous, black vegan leather, vintagey kind of look. I believe it's from the vintage collection at Matt and Nat. And it has a shoulder strap so you can wear it across your body. And it actually holds a pretty good amount of stuff considering how small it is, and I'm obsessed with it. So Matt and Nat for sure. I also love Gunas, I don't know how to say it, G-U-N-A-S, New York. They're awesome. A lot of their handbags are a lot brighter than I would normally go for. Again, as you guys know, I'm pretty much a black and white kind of girl, and a lot of their bags are very bright and girly, but some of them, they're gorgeous. They pull at my heartstrings, and in an alternate universe where I wore only T-length A-line dresses and vintage pumps, I would have all of their handbags, so check them out as well. So I'll link to those two below, check them out. Their bags are really beautiful and cruelty-free, which is amazing. Okay, last question is question number 8. Tips for a college student trying to be vegan. Okay, so as you guys might know, I went vegetarian the day I graduated college, so I can't really give you too much first-hand experience from college eating a vegetarian or a vegan diet. But now in my 4th year as a vegan, I definitely just have general life experience, so I can give you a couple tips from that. I would say one of the most important things is try to live in a residence or a dorm that has some kind of kitchen, even if it's a tiny kitchenette. If you have a mini fridge or you can get one, you should get one to keep fruit and other produce with you, some non-dairy milks so that you can have cereal in your room. And if you can have a little sink, that would be amazing for washing produce. That way you can make your own salads and eat lots of raw, fresh produce. If that's really not possible, then try to explore the food options at your college, see what's available, see if there's any way that they can accommodate you if they don't really have a large amount of vegan options already. I find people are pretty accommodating, and especially at colleges when they know that you have to eat here at this cafeteria for every meal, they'll be more likely to try to help you, especially if you approach it with a little bit of a white lie and say that you are lactose intolerant for the dairy side of it, or allergic to dairy. Sometimes that gives people a little kick if they're not really interested in helping finding new options. If you're allergic, they kind of have to. So if you're finding it hard, I would kind of push the allergy side of it, just to make sure that they actually are respecting your needs. My 3rd tip would be to try to find people who are like-minded. If there is a vegetarian or vegan society group at your college, to join it, or maybe start one yourself so that you can talk with other people who are in the same exact place as you in their life and geographically, and they can help you on your journey and you can help them. Just having that support can be really, really helpful if you're kind of the only vegan you know in a new place when you're at college. My last tip would be to stay carved up. Eat enough food. College can be crazy. You can get burnt out really easily, especially if you're partying or if you're studying really hard. So eat enough food. Make sure you are eating more than everybody else who's not vegan, because you kind of have to. Fill yourself up with healthy whole plant foods. You will feel amazing, and you'll keep your health so that you can actually enjoy your college experience. So those were all the questions today for this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any questions you have below in the comments for me to answer in my next video, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye. P.S. If you haven't yet checked out my Patreon page, please go below and pledge as little as $1 a month. It really helps me out so that I can keep creating free content for you. So go check that out. Follow me on social media. Head over to my blog and see what's going on, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.